Hello folks and welcome back to Rome Total War 2. I'm your host, Pew Pew Choo Choo as always, and I kind of forgot what we were doing last time, so I think I'll just go over briefly where we were at. I do remember, conquering the little bit of France over here, and the little bit of Germany, but apart from that, I don't believe we've done very much else apart from that. I think I also made some alliances with this shade of brown faction over here, whoever controls this town, and we have equipped our legions over here, and we are currently preparing for an invasion of Britannia over here. So I know a little bit more about the actual campaign in Britannia than on the coast of France, the move of the Roman Empire to the coast. So I do believe the historical actual invasion of Britannia happened in the year somewhere around 50 BCs when they went over there, and it was under a emperor called Claudius, I believe, which was a person not necessarily renowned for his military abilities, but he wanted to make a name for himself, so he entered into a series of military conflicts. The invasion of Britain was one of the things that has always been on the table for the Romans at that time period, but I mean it was kind of like an iffy thing until that point, right? So they what happened historically was that, well, we have our spies already on the island already checking things out, was that they landed on the closest point, so right around this area right here where the horses are, I suppose, and where the little lighthouse things are. Are those lighthouses? I don't know. The point is they landed around here, and then they had 2 forces out of 4 legions. So we have a similar invading force like that. So 4 legions, and they had the second Augusta Legion, which was a pretty renowned one, pressed all the way around to the side over here. I'm not really sure with British geography, anyways. Anyhow, and they had the other 3 legions push up through the north, just kind of following up across the coast and really moving forward like that. And, well, there's always been talk of stuff like that inside for the longest time. There was quite a lot of talk of things of a impending army like that inside the British Isles, and now the people over here, they only really had local. They were, I hesitate to use the word barbarians, but they used very tribal systems. And what had happened was that while the Roman army and the Roman provinces were fairly organized and stuff like that, they didn't have a professional army. They used a levy system, meaning once again that you had your farmers and really whoever you could find inside a village pick up the nearest blunt object or weapon, and then just kind of form into a temporary army of sorts like that, really. So aside from having the king's bodyguards and maybe some mercenaries around, they had to rally up a whole great bunch of people, just kind of on the news of a impending Roman invasion. Now bear in mind that a previous emperor also had a stake in Britannia, so something happened. It was fairly similar to the years before, where they got a whole bunch of people. They moved to the coast, but when they were there, they waited for this invasion, but it never showed up. So it was kind of like the tale. I don't know what it's called anymore. The tale of the wolf thing again. The boy who cried wolf. There we go. It was kind of like that, where the Romans still didn't show up, but on mainland Europe, while the Britain tribes were collecting their forces and waiting for the impending invasion on the coast of France, the Romans were building huge numbers of boats and huge numbers of baggage trains, and really preparing for a massive campaign. They had about 5,000 some animals, just pack animals, stuff to carry goods, right? Just kind of lined up and waiting. So definitely a large force just there and present. Here I'm getting our little dignitary train to come over to the shore here, so we can deploy them later on. But anyways, when the Britons were just kind of sick and tired of waiting, they pulled back, and the Romans actually did come on shore somewhere around here, and then they immediately got word to work, I believe, building first and foremost a port where they came on. They left one legion where they landed, pretty much. Again, one to press into this area, and one and the main force going forwards. So I'm going to send the gladiators to really just mess up this town. So we're going to do that. And that's going to be one of our forces sent in. And you know what? I kind of feel like settling this battle, just actually fighting it out. So we will do that, and yeah, we'll do that there. And we're going to try an assassination over here too. So the main force kind of pressed up across the coast here. The future Emperor Vaspian, I believe, or something like that, was actually one of the commanders of one of the legions inside this battle, inside this campaign too. So that's kind of interesting. Although I don't think he was emperor for very long. It was like a very short time. He was emperor during the time of a civil war. I think I'll get this legion to come over here. Oh, it's gonna land its boat over there. Okay, fair enough. So, oh, there's a standing army right there. Okay, well in that case, we will get them to go stance none, and then press forward like that. These guys, we're just going to have to sandwich this army in, I suppose. And this force is just going to go over there.
For death and honor!
Ooh, and we also get reinforcements for this battle. That's kind of cool. So we'll deploy. So during this little campaign, it wasn't really a little campaign. What had happened was that they actually fought right around, or one legion fought around 30 battles just over the course of just kind of progressing through the terrain and moving forwards, really. So definitely like a lot of conflicts happened there, but the legions always had the upper hand simply because of how they were organized. I mean, the terrain of Britannia wasn't exactly perfect, but I mean, the legions were still able to commit their formations in mass, and they were really able to just kind of mechanically move throughout the places, battling these small groups of essentially peasantry, really. People who didn't have the heavy shields, and people who really had little to no armor. Actually trying to find it during this section of this book I have right now. There we go, Invading Britain. Let's see what they say. Yeah, and throughout the course of actually, crap, I wanted that fog. Great. There we go, rain. Good enough. So let us see how big this village actually is. Throughout the course of the Roman advance, I believe, as they kind of went around, they started building infrastructure as well, just to kind of build up the place. So they would go around making roads and making bridges, more importantly, to really get across. Okay, so apparently our actual legionary force is coming from here. I guess I'll deploy my gladiator. I think we've already seen this map too. I think I'll get the gladiators to deploy here. And we'll just start the battle like that. And then, yeah, these gladiator troops, they have...
That is the only reason for fighting here. Do not hesitate, do not falter, and do not think of falling back. We go forwards, not back to the deeps.
I wonder if they have the shield cladder thing. Oh, they do. Huh, there we go. So yeah, these gladiators, they have the highest attack value of all of the units in the game. I think they even beat the Praetorian Guard by default. So yeah, these gladiators are really good at offensive actions, but they have abysmal armor. I think we've already covered what gladiators are, and well, gladiators actually came in different types too. It wasn't just kind of like omni-casted like this, where people had swords and little bits of armor like that. The Roman Colosseums were structured kind of like you had different archetypes of gladiators. So you had different types, really. I mean, you had the people with like the nets and then the trident weapon thing, and you had people with the sword and shield combo, and you had just a lot of oddities really there. So I've also equipped ourselves with some ballistae right now. So not really sure if is ballistae the plural of ballista, or I don't know. But anyhow, we have some of these things here now, so that is rather nice to see. Yeah, these things would have been devastating just to see on battle if you were like some sort of barbarian tribe. Just seeing these things huck flaming shots at you, that would have been even pretty scary, right? So what I want these ballista to do is that I want them to where's our there's our force. I want these ballistae to really come up here onto this little hill. It's a little bit covered with these trees and all, but I feel like this is actually a really good location to kind of bombard the town. So I'm going to get these things to move over there, and I think I'll just keep the Legion where it is right now. Look at that town. No. Have we seen any enemies over here already? No. I think it would have been really cool to have it so that so you can actually receive reinforcements in the multiplayer battles. That way, these siege battles can actually become some really fun things rather than just like kind of a realistic thing. Would have been really cool if you had like some siege battles where, for example, the Carthage map. Oh. Looks like the majority of their army is on boats. Would have been cool to see the Carthage map where the port is inside the walls, and yeah, so you had a little isolated port. It would have been cool to kind of see like a ferry going back and forth, delivering troops to the defenders, and you had this real city massacre battle, right, where the attacking force gets troops from like outside, just off of the edges of the map, and the people defending get troops from the sea, and it just grinds down to a gigantic battle, really. I think that would have been cool. Definitely wouldn't have been realistic, but it would have been cool to just kind of see. Yeah, there we go. Unfortunately, the game is a little bit unpolished. I had a game where I sped the thing up and then I turned it back to normal speed, and then like the game would play at normal speed, but all the sound effects were gone, and then yeah, it was just really weird. I think the Roman legions, they were essentially taught how to build ballistae on the field. They didn't really carry them around with them. So they had the tools and the material to build ballista, and some of the other siege works just kind of on the field, and they actually didn't really like lug them around like this. What they had to do was that they had to carry the ammunition for them, though. So that was a source of an impediment of sorts. Oh, do we finally see the enemy? Yeah, they are. Yikes! They are all around the walls over here. I hate how they got rid of climbing up the walls. I thought that was actually a really cool thing to do. I mean, even if we break the walls here, we can't really get inside, though. Now, can we? I don't know. We'll get the siege corps up here and laying down some projectiles, and then we'll talk about stuff like that. Hang on. I think we also had to get one section to assemble right over here, actually. So they'll go do that, and we can just wait for a little bit. Yeah, one of the greatest weaknesses of the legions was their baggage train. How they would work was that you had camp followers, so a group of people who followed the actual soldiers around, carrying supplies and doing all of that stuff, really. And then you also had the merchants who followed around the people, the legionnaires. Just for the sake of buying up all the loot and then reselling it, really. But one of the things that was really rather troublesome was I think it was the impeditus or something like that. It's either the word impediment is derived from what they called the baggage train, or the baggage train's name was derived from the word impediment, or whatever Latin word comes from that. So yeah, that was one of the bigger problems that they had with baggage trains and all that. I think the individual soldier did carry their own thing on a hobo pole of sorts. It wasn't a hobo pole, but they did put their stuff inside like a little baggie and then had it on a stick, so that they carried it like that. But the ammunition for these catapults and stuff were carried using like special little carts and stuff. Now, how long do these catapults take? Where these things take to get ready? Okay, so finally we're getting the siege equipment moved up, and these things should be able to start pummeling the enemy's walls. Hopefully we smash right through these and give the opportunity for our guys to really get into the fighting, just like that, because I really want to see the gladiators in combat again. Just slaughter everything, right? So over here, we should be able to smash down the gate. And you can actually take direct command of these things too, which is kind of cool. Let's see, but it's really, really wonky. Yeah, there we go. So that's kind of cool. They carried over that feature from the from Shogun 2, so it's kind of neat. You can kind of smash down the gate like that. I think we also have some explosive ammunition, but I don't think that works very well on fortifications. So I'm just kind of holding up on using that so far. Get the catapults over here. Smash down those little those things, and I think I'll get one field artillery. Hang on. Okay, yeah, our targets are good, so we'll start smashing down the gates with our guns for now, and we'll really see what they do. I had a game of Empire Total War, I think, where the cannons were positioned right behind the tree, so then whenever they shot, they just hit the tree, and then I think eventually it blew up the cannon itself, so I'm just trying to avoid that here. Yeah, but that was really weird. Let's see, this wall can be destroyed, but not breached. Oh, okay, so the rest of the walls, apparently, the ones that I'm not shooting at, can be breached. In that case, we'll just shoot a hole right in here. See some bodies. Yeah, okay, so that causes a gap inside the walls. Now, is it climbable is the other thing that I'm wondering right now. The gate will definitely, would have definitely been breached by now. No, still not? Huh. Okay, well, we're waiting on the artillery to do its work, I suppose. I think I'll get these guys to actually shoot explosive shot, and then we'll arc it over like that. Ah, that's how, when you break these walls, it forms a little ramp like that. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting, like, because how the walls are centered is that up here it's just a different elevation of stone, right? Of dirt, right? I was kind of expecting it to be like just like a slightly different wall texture that you had to climb up, but okay, I guess that makes more sense. Okay, so now we have a hole inside the wall, so I'll get these ballistae to stop, use explosive ammunition, retoggle fire at will, so they'll start shelling the enemy with explosive munitions. And oh yeah, that's gonna cause some casualties. These guys got the gate open? No, you guys go back to getting the gate open. The rest of the people, though, can start firing explosive munitions. Unfortunately, I don't have fire munitions. I feel like those are a little bit superior to the explosive shots, simply because the explosive ones, they explode and then that's the end of it, whereas the fire ones keep on rolling for a bit after they hit. Let's see how this looks from our side over here. Oh, we can actually take control. Looks like a little fire munitions. Look like they're a clay pot or something like that. It's kind of cool.